All right, let's just jump right into it. We all walk around in a world that feels, well, real. It feels solid, dependable. But what if that stability, that very thing we call reality, isn't what it seems at all? What if it's something way more fragile?
And that's really the big question we're tackling here. Is the universe this fixed, concrete thing, or is it something else entirely? Because the answer, well, it might just change how you look at everything.
So here's the fundamental clash. On one side of the coin, you have quantum mechanics, which tells us that at the tiniest, most fundamental level, reality is just a shimmering fog of possibilities. Things aren't really there until you look. But on the other side, there's our world, our day-to-day, which is the exact opposite. It's stable, it's predictable, things stay where you leave them. So how in the world do you connect those two?
How do we bridge that massive gap between a universe of pure potential and the solid reality we experience? This framework suggests the answer lies in a single powerful idea, the unblinking observer.
Now listen closely to the words here. Ever living, okay? But then the sustainer of all, and this is the absolute key, neither slumber nor sleep overtakes him. This isn't just a poetic description. According to this perspective, it's the actual mechanism that holds our entire reality together.
Let's quickly bring in a bit of science that's a perfect analogy for this. It's called the observer effect. In the quantum world, before you measure it, a particle is basically everywhere and nowhere at the same time. It's just a wave of probability. But the moment it's observed, bam, it snaps into a single, fixed point. The act of looking collapses all that potential into one single reality. And this is where it all clicks. If the universe is like that quantum field of possibilities, then the reason it seems so solid, so continuous, is because it's being perpetually observed. There is a gaze on it that never wavers, never sleeps, never even blinks. The universe is the most persistent illusion simply because its observer is the most persistent, absolute reality.
Okay, so if a constant observer is what makes reality real, what does that mean for all the rules that run the universe? The laws of physics. This idea completely reframes them.
It's a great question, right? Are they just some kind of cosmic rule book, or is there something more to it?
Well, the idea here is pretty wild. The laws of physics, gravity, electromagnetism, all of it, they aren't rules written on some cosmic stone tablet. They're just the consistency of that divine observation. The reason gravity works the same way today as it did yesterday is because the gaze watching it is steady, eternal, and unchanging. The laws are a direct consequence of that unwavering act of witnessing.
Now let's zoom out even further. Forget just the laws of physics for a second, and think about the nature of creation itself. How do things even come to exist in this observed reality?
And here we find another incredible parallel. The divine command, be, isn't a process, it's instant. And that mirrors what we see in quantum field theory, where information can essentially update across the entire field at once. The command doesn't travel through time to make something happen. It rewrites the entire system in a single moment, because the one giving the command is outside of our linear time.
The sources use this amazing imagery of the throne being upon the water, where water is like the fabric of space-time itself. This means he's operating from outside our dimensions. Think of it like a master control panel that exists completely beyond our universe of time and space. From that vantage point, what we see is past, present, and future. It's all there, all at once, already complete. Our life is just one slice of that whole picture being shown to us moment by moment.
Okay, so that's the grand cosmic scale. But this brings it all the way down to us, to the personal level. If the universe is an observed illusion, what are we doing in it? What is the human soul in this whole system?
So this framework talks about a duality inside of us. You have the nafs, that's our local self, our ego. It acts like a particle, a specific condensed point of observation. But then you have the ruh, the universal spirit or soul. It's like a wave, pure potential, always connected to that infinite source. So it's our nafs that lives and dies, collapsing reality frame by frame. But our ruh, that's our timeless connection to the bigger picture.
And that's our job here, in a sense. We are observers inside the great observation. Our individual consciousness, our nafs, is like a secondary observer, taking this eternal, pre-written script and collapsing it, moment by moment, into our lived reality. We are quite literally experiencing a story that already exists, one frame at a time, through our own perception.
So if life is this kind of feedback loop, what happens when it's over? Where's this whole journey going?
Let's look at how the circuit finally gets completed.
You can really break the journey down into 4 stages. First, you have the eternal script, just existing as pure potential. Second, our local self, the nafs, steps in as the observer and starts collapsing each frame, which is what we call life. Third, at death, that local observer, the nafs, dissolves. And finally, the soul, the ruh, is free to reconnect to the infinite, completing the circuit right back to where it all began.
And this verse just says it all, doesn't it? It's so direct. The whole trip, the entire grand illusion, it has a destination. The point of the loop is to eventually finish it, to return that little spark of individualized consciousness back to the universal whole.
So I'll just leave you with this to think about. If this entire world is a persistent illusion, held together by a constant, divine gaze, then your own consciousness, your act of observing your own life as it unfolds, is not some passive thing. It's an active participation. You are helping collapse the potential of the universe into the reality that you experience. So, what does that mean for the story you're currently telling?